It's called next level victim mentality. Okay.
So let me show you a quick clip of this original one, and then we'll see some new stuff.
Being an able-bodied person in the COVID cautious community is absolutely wild, because at this point in my life, most of my friends are disabled, and when I will talk to other able-bodied, or as a lot of people are more aptly referring to now, pre-disabled, because let's be serious.
Pre-disabled. Pre-disabled. This is what we're referring to as now.
More aptly referring to them, because let's be serious. Before we take a look at this next clip of insanity.
So this is a bunch of trends on TikTok. There's all kinds of goofy stuff happening on TikTok, man.
Would be the group of people, you know, the brightly colored neon hair, which by the way, she has clearly colored red hair, which feels like it appropriates me. But anyway, these are the type of people that would, you know, start screaming like, oh, you know, you can't call them the Cleveland Indians. That's cultural appropriation or misappropriation or misinformation, whatever they call it. But then you look at people who actually aren't able-bodied. They've got some kind of a handicap. And I would dare say their mentality and what they're aiming for is dramatically appropriating the handicap community. People who they have to face more.
I don't know if we're supposed to say handicap. I think the correct term is disabled, but that's neither here nor there. But he is right in that folks who have a disability tend to not have this sort of mindset. They tend to be the opposite. They're like, how can I make the most with what I have, and don't treat me as lesser than.
Challenges than I could even imagine, but they're just drawing on that, saying, hey, if we pretend we have some of what you got, I feel like more of a victim, and the more of a victim I feel, the more powerful I feel. Did you know being a victim, self-induced, makes you incredibly disempowered? Not really. It just feels empowering to me. Look how significant I am, the bigger of a victim I become. So let's take another look at someone claiming, yeah, we're all just pre-disabled.
If you get offended by being called cis, you're gonna love this.
Cis is basically a made-up term. Let's go on.
Since you don't care about 250,000 people continuing to die from COVID every year, I'm going to go out on a limb and guess you consider yourself to be able-bodied.
Or freedom-loving, or you hate tyranny. But anyway, he's connecting dots. He hallucinates. That's great.
You are what's known as pre-disabled. Nobody's able-bodied.
Nobody is able-bodied.
Hold on. I got to hit him with the...
So that made no sense. Oh, no.
So now I've got scurvy. I don't know what scurvy does, but...
You're just not disabled yet.
You're just not disabled yet.
Wow.
Come along and accelerate that timeline, oh shit.
I'm curious what a mass disabling event would be. Like, is that like a plane crashing to a neighbor?
This is crazy. This is crazy that this exists. Okay, let's hear this dude out.
Make it feel worse.
When people tell you that all of the talk of the end of the pandemic is eugenics because as many as 250,000 people are going to continue to die every year.
He definitely believes the made-up CDC numbers, people dying with COVID versus people dying from it. He probably doesn't care about those nuances of science.
This is crazy. We're still talking about the Rona? It's 4 years. It's going on 4 years.
And you say, oh, it's the new flu or it's endemic. That's just eugenics. If you're willing to sacrifice the disabled, remember you are shortly to be disabled. Rethink your choices.
Wow.
You aren't. You are just pre-disabled. So remember that the next time you make decisions that put disabled people in danger.
Remember that next time you make... What decisions am I making, or is the average person walking around making that's doing this? I am so confused.
You're just hurting your future self. So if you can't care about us, at least save yourself. Man, that's weird. She's like starting off attacking you and then like saying at least save yourself. Look at that. She is just a lover of life.
This is crazy, man. Pre-disabled. If this is an appropriation of this community, I mean, I don't know what it is. Okay, so this is an interesting one.
One person who actually got his spinal cord severed because he identified as paraplegic.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
From transgender to transabled, people are choosing to identify as handicapped.
And you can even see, this is a New York Post write-up about it. From transgendered to transabled, people are choosing to identify as handicapped. Which, by the way, like clearly someone who's who thinks this way, there's mental illness that needs to be treated. And if someone is willing to act on this, blind themselves, cut off a limb, paralyze themselves, I mean, that is severe mental illness. These people, they need help for sure. Yet, this is the slippery slope of transgender ideology. Well, like, you're not what you are. What you are is what you think you are. And the trans-abled people, it is probably the ultimate culmination of a sick society that has taught people, and if you've learned it, it's your fault, self-responsibility, but a sick society that has taught people the more of a victim you can make yourself, the stronger you are. Let's take a quick look at this. A troubling societal issue called transableism is attracting attention these days. Yeah, that's the thing.
Let me read this. A troubling societal issue called transableism is attracting attention these days. Transableism is a newer term for BIID, body integrity identity disorder, in which a person actually identifies as handicapped. BIID has been relabeled to transableism to align with today's trans community, according to some. The point of changing identifiers from a psychiatric condition to an advocacy term is to harness the stunning cultural power of gender ideology to the cause of allowing doctors to treat BIID patients by amputating healthy limbs, snipping spinal cords, or destroying eyesight, according to Evolution News and Science, which reports on and analyzes evolution, neuroscience, bioethics, intelligent design, and other science-related issues. Wow. Hey, let me show you a secret. 25% off the entire Bless God shop through Sunday night when you use this code right here. That means you can get 25% off our prayer journals, which have never been on sale like this before. And we did something extra special. We brought back the He is Him collection, as well as the Priest Provider collection. Now, when you pick up some Bless God merch, when you pick up some He is Him merch, when you pick up some Priest Provider Protector merch, what you're doing when you're putting it on, you are reminding yourself daily what you're representing when you go out into your day. So bless God, remembering to live a life that brings blessing to God and isn't just chasing blessings from God. The Priest Provider Protector line, remembering what it means to be someone that is the priest of your home, the protector of your home, and the provider of your home. And of course, the He is Him, pointing people to Jesus and reminding them that ultimately, regardless of what the world says, He is Him. Don't snooze this time. Don't play yourself. Go to blessgod.shop. Use this code right now to get 25% off through Sunday night. I'll see you over there.
Attracting attention. That's the goal of the victim mentality. I want attention. It's a very immature, childish thing. It's like being stuck at the emotional maturity of 16. Mature, you get mature. And you get your attention needs met in a functional way.
I don't know if it's attention or just
This is a sickness of the highest order.
I don't know if we could pinpoint it to attention. That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't include self-harm or harming others. You get attention through being of service, doing good deeds, being a good person. Now get this. This is where we see crimes in the medical industry. Transableism is a newer term for BIID, or body integrity identity disorder, in which a person actually identifies as handicapped. Body integrity identity disorder has been relabeled to transableism to align with today's trans community, according to some. Get this. The point of changing the identifier from a psychiatric condition to an advocacy term, gender dysphoria to gender identity, that kind of thing, mutilating your genitals to gender affirming care, big distinction, same thing. Big distinctions when you label it something else.
Which, by the way, gender affirming care has a lot of these folks who grew up and are never able to experience an orgasm. So that's literally what's happening with some of this gender affirming care. Not all of it, but some of it, and especially if they're starting it early enough, right? That is what's happening down there. That's crazy.
The point of changing the identifier from a psychiatric condition to an advocacy term is to harness the stunning cultural power of gender ideology to the cause of allowing doctors to treat BIID patients by amputating healthy limbs, snipping spinal cords, and destroying eyesight. Doctors take a Hippocratic oath. First,
this part is good right here.
Do no harm. So if you went to your doctor and said, can you cut my arm off? Probably be like, what is there like severe cancer in your arm? Like, what's going on? And you're like, no, I just identify as an amputee. So can we get this arm cut off? The doctor legally can't do it and ethically can't do it. His first Hippocratic oath, do no harm. When you get the body integrity identity disorder changed from, hey, you literally have a mental illness for wanting your arm cut off. Doctors can't do that. But if you change that term to, I'm transabled. Now, just like doctors who are willing to mutilate children's genitals because they don't call it genital mutilation, they call it gender affirming care, it gets to be called affirming care. Yes, I will affirm you. I will give you care by cutting your arm off. These advocacy terms, ladies and gentlemen, not cool. And here is a quick look at a lady who suffered.
Yeah, this next part is sad.
I went blind on purpose, but I don't feel it was a choice. I don't think I'm crazy. I think I have a disorder.
First, it was definitely a choice, and you do have a disorder, unfortunately.
So this lady blinded herself on purpose because she identified as disabled.
Need help.
I lay down on the sofa, dropped 2 drops into each eye. My eyes were screaming. I had some drain cleaner going down my cheek, burning my skin. In the moment, all I could think of was, I'm going blind.
Darkness.
It's going to be okay. I was so happy. I felt that this was who I was supposed to be.
Obviously, nothing funny about that. That's a very sad situation. And I think it's worth knowing because this is the slippery.
When this video came out, people said that this wasn't real. There was a whole theory that this lady wasn't really disabled. That she faked it. Now we're seeing that she was just early to the party, that she predicted where TikTok took society and what's happening right now, which is crazy. It's crazy. So what does this mean? Well, in the context of it's the clinical term for feelings. I think it's neurology. So this is what he said. Gender is a neurochemical phenomenon. Gender is a neurochemical phenomenon. Okay, so if we Google the word neurochemical, you'll find that this is basically feelings connected to your nervous system, okay, relating to chemical processes occurring in nerve tissue in the nervous system. Neurotransmitter, okay? So according to Dave, if we go back to this video, let me see if I could just...
Of people as exhibiting either male or female sex. Gender is a different phenomenon. It is still biological, but it is a neurochemical construct. This means that ultimately it is still genetic in basis, but it absolutely is not determined merely by the sex chromosomes. It is tremendously more complicated, and researchers are still working to understand the biological basis of gender identity. Human psychology is complex. People need to deal with that. Thoughts and feelings are ultimately chemical phenomena.
Thoughts and feelings are chemical phenomena, and gender is a neurological chemical phenomenon.
We all have a neurochemical profile that guides how we think and feel, and part of that is gender identity. The reason that we are just now becoming
so this is a pro transformer video. Okay, Professor Dave is, in my opinion, very far gone in terms of this conversation. Right? And so what he's telling you is, listen.
Thoughts and feelings are ultimately chemical phenomena. We all have a neurochemical profile that guides how we think and feel, and part of that is gender identity.
So it's thoughts and feelings. He's basically saying it's thoughts and feelings. You're having a chemical, neurological reaction to your thoughts and feelings, and the predisposition that you have is what's driving you. And so that removes the reality that we would all say that some people have wrong thoughts and feelings. You don't always act on your thoughts and feelings. We need something greater to lead us, to guide us. You need something greater to guide you. And this is where the breakdown happens, is if you're a follower of Scripture, you're a follower of Jesus, you go, man, God designed things with intention and purpose, and clearly there's body parts made to connect with other body parts so that we continue existing as a species. And then someone comes along but goes, your feelings and your neurochemical phenomenon and your reality and your truth is important and should be affirmed. And those of us who have a higher transcendent value system around, I would say, the scriptures, or just you could point to natural law, will say, no, there's an order that God created things to work a specific way, and that is why we exist and continue to exist. And so that's what the crux of this issue is your feelings and your thoughts and your neurochemical predisposition and all these things should be affirmed and valued. And if they're not, then the person who does not affirm them and value them is a bigot. That's what the conversation really comes down to. And so I would just go, where do we draw the line, right? To come back to this JP Spears video, we're seeing people that now want to be affirmed in cutting off healthy limbs because they have a disorder, severing spinal cords, blinding themselves. Do we affirm that? What do we affirm next? Do we then affirm self-deletion? What do we affirm after that? Do we affirm people identifying as a different age? Where does it stop? Right? If it's all about, if everything is about,
We all have a neurochemical profile that guides how we think and feel, and part of that is gender identity.
right? So where do we go from there? No one has an answer for that. Where do we draw the line? It's all arbitrary. It's all in what you feel. Your feelings aren't always right. Because again, if you're a follower of the scriptures, it says the heart is more deceptive above all things, right? Your heart will lead you astray. Your feelings aren't always accurate. We've all felt things that were not accurate. We all felt things that were not good, like today. That's the tension. That's the tension we live in. Hey, shh, come here. Got something special for you. 25% off the entire Bless God shop, including our prayer journal. Some of you guys have been procrastinating getting yourself one of these and investing in your spiritual discipline of growing in prayer. We got it in black, we got it in tan. Well, this is the weekend. Get one for yourself, get one for your loved one. Start writing in your prayer journals to better recall the things you're praying for that God is answering, and to structure your devotional in a way where you have praise reports and prayer requests, you got prayers for other people, you have prayers for yourself, a memory verse, and a little hack in terms of what you're gonna get done today. Bless God shop, entire store, 25% off, and this is it. This is the code you use right now through Sunday night, and of course we have all the apparel, the He Is Him collection, the Priest Provider collection, all back this weekend only. Go pick it up. I'll see you over there, all right?